All right, so has anybody seen Black Christmas 2019? Did anybody think that that film was very man-hating? Has anybody ever seen All Through the House? That came out in 2015. Holy shit. Was this a first time watch? Now, a little bit of disclaimer. I first of all, I have not seen Black Christmas 2019. I've only heard of the debauchery of that movie. This one is certainly man hating, especially from one character. That didn't stop me from liking this movie a lot, though. Reason being, it was done very hilariously, and the woman, Mrs. Grady, I'm pretty sure her name is, who despises men, is clearly like a psychotic, demented, deranged character. Like she's built that way, and you're supposed to tell that this woman is cuckoo for cocoa puffs, and she's a psychotic woman. So it comes across as she's crazy, and the what comes out of her mouth towards men and what she does towards men is just insanity. So it's funny, and the film also has a really great amount of gore and a lot of gags when it comes to like chopping of body parts off. Even one scene where this girl gives a kick to the killer Santa Claus in between the legs, thinking it's a guy, and it looks like a guy, but he just looks down and doesn't like nothing happens. Story wise, what happens here is this girl named Rachel. She's coming home for the holidays, and this takes place basically in a neighborhood, and she's coming home to visit her grandmother. Her mother had run away previously, so her mother really never shows up, but she ran away with some guy basically. And this girl, Rachel, has always been raised by her grandmother. Her grandmother is a bit of a potty mouth. She's a very funny character throughout the whole film. And what happens is Mrs. Grady, the neighbor, or one of the neighbors in the neighborhood, asks Rachel and her friends to decorate Mrs. Grady's house throughout the holidays. Mrs. Grady has always been a hermit. She had her own daughter disappear. Her little girl was named Jamie, and Jamie just mysteriously vanished. And then Mrs. Grady kind of, and her home and everything kind of became like an urban legend of the town. And like everybody looked at her house and her as if she was the creepy woman of the town. And she would like never come out. Nobody would ever see Mrs. Grady. They just hear of Mrs. Grady. She was kind of like a spirit kind of character, but she shows up. She asks Rachel, like I said, to decorate her house because she's going out on a date. And throughout the whole movie, there's this Santa Claus who looks cool. He kind of wears this steel looking mask. Looks like it's made of steel with white hair, Santa Claus hair, and he's dressed in the regular Santa Claus suit. And it's a very menacing looking face, the mask that he uses. And it is a he Santa Claus apparently that doesn't have a dick. This film has a lot of dick chopping. Okay, right from the beginning, there's this hilarious scene where this couple is about to sleep with each other, and the woman's taking a shower, and the guy is trying to get ready. The woman's like, "Why don't you go to the bedroom, get ready, and I'll meet you there," or whatever. So he's just jerking it. He's trying so desperately, and he's so funny. What comes out of his mouth? He's like, "Come on, come on, come on." He's like, what does he say? He's like, "I'm not missing out on that pussy." And then unfortunately he gets it snapped. So I'm seeing this as a theme. I'm like, there's a lot of dudes getting their dicks cut off, and then it was funny when it actually went with the story. You have Mrs. Grady, who apparently, well, I'm not going to spoil it too much, but I shouldn't keep it. I should keep the spoilers to a minimum. But she hates men because she was with one, and she actually has a mannequin Santa Claus that she talks to and pretends is real. And she's obviously been hurt, let's just say. So she only likes girls because girls don't hurt people, only guys do. And her revenge, she works with this killer Santa Claus that's going around doing all these murders. It's not Mrs. Grady doing it, but they're connected. And yeah, she just sends him off to chop penises off of men, and she what is this line she says to him at the end of the, or closer to the end of the movie? She's like, "You're just a dickless man, and that's the worst that you can get," or something like that. Like, this bitch hates dudes, okay? She hates dudes, and she makes it hella clear throughout the film. But the killer uses shears through the whole film, and there's a lot of shear kills that are, you'll always see the shears go through people, like through their heads, through their, like, it's really, really good practical gore effect. So this film is about that. It very much does feel like a B movie. It definitely feels low budget. You can definitely see that it is a micro budgeted passion project of a B movie, and you can tell that with all of it. It was directed by Todd Nunes, and I'll have to look up and see if he's done anything else because I think he did an incredible job. Rachel is actually related to him, the girl who plays Rachel. I mean, and I really liked the film. I really loved the gore. I also watched Silent Night. Sorry, just Silent Night, and that was gore filled. The gore is pretty much equal in this film. I think I give my preference to Silent Night overall, but this one definitely packs in that gore and has an interesting comedically dark story going along with it that's really interesting. And the actresses are all really pretty, really hot. Mrs. Grady's a psychotic, crazy, crazy woman. And this is just a fun Christmas slasher to watch through the holidays. It's one I'd certainly buy. I like the song that played at the beginning. It's kind of like during the opening credits, it's kind of like a jazzy version of Up on the Housetop, Old Saint Nick, or whatever. And then they have other cool tracks going on here and there throughout the film. So really good job, really good indie film, really good B movie, and really good stuff. I had a really good time with all through the house. So go check it out. It's on Tubi streaming. Pretty much, unless I mention it that I have it. Any film that I've been watching this Christmas has been on Tubi. Tubi has a lot of good, especially horror Christmas movies. So go check it out there. It's streaming now. Subscribe to Morgan Film Fan if you like to listen to my voice or if you like my film reviews. I'll be back with more, so stay tuned for those. Check out what's on the channel now. Stay tuned for what's coming, and until next review, have a good one. Take care and cheers.